Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zach Lee, back bringing some more daily NBA news. And let's just get right into everything that we gotta talk about today. And for our first story of the day, not quite sure what took this one so long to emerge, but you know the saying, better late than never. But I got some juicy reports for all of you OKC Thunder fans out there. As rumor has it that Russell Westbrook has been focusing on becoming a better three-point shooter this summer. And this report came from none other than ESPN's Zach Lowe, as he said this on his own podcast yesterday. He's been working on it this summer, I've been told. That's been a big time off-season focus. We'll see. What they've stressed is work on catch and shoot, become a little bit better of a catch and shoot guy, but obviously in order to do that, there needs to be catching before the shooting, and it's hard to catch it from yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, shots have been fired. Oh, that was low-key one of the most high-key roasts of Russell Westbrook that I have ever seen. He said there needs to be catching before there's shooting, but it's hard to catch the ball from yourself, implying that Russell Westbrook always has the ball, so how is he going to pass to himself to shoot? That's crazy. But shots aside, this is actually a pretty good point here. Look, let's not all sit up here and act like over the years the Thunder's offense has been predicated on ball movement, like they make 4 or 5 passes per possession looking for the best shot. That hasn't been their offense whatsoever. They play more hero ball. They do a lot of isolation for their best players. A couple of years ago, Russell Westbrook carried the entire offensive load for the OKC Thunder after they lost Kevin Durant, and we thought that was fine because that's what he had to do, because what else did he have at the time? However, then last year, even with the additions of Paul George and Carmelo Anthony to the team, offensively, things didn't really change. Now, instead of just rush, it was rush, Paul George, rush, and eventually Carmelo would do something as well. There still wasn't a lot of ball movement. There still weren't many other guys getting involved offensively. Steven Adams, sure, he'd have a 16-20 point game every now and then when Russell Westbrook fed him on the pick and roll. But other than that, Russell Westbrook and Paul George made up for a solid 85% of the Thunder's offense. You would rarely ever see the Thunder making 4 or 5 passes in offensive possession. It's more like 1, maybe 2. And if you're really lucky that day, you might get to see the magical third pass. And that's just the system that the Thunder have always had in place. That's Billy Donovan's system. But with this news, not only does it mean Russell Westbrook should come back next year a much better three-point shooter, but it also means that the Thunder should be using some more ball movement, right? If they're telling Russell Westbrook, yo, we need you to become better at your catch and shoot threes because that's some situations you're going to be in, that should mean that there's going to be more ball movement. Maybe Billy Donovan will actually have an offensive system this year and not just sit on the bench and watch Russell Westbrook and Paul George carry the offense. However, this could also have to do with the addition of Dennis Schroeder to the team. Of course, he was the main pickup in exchange for Carmelo Anthony, a really good return for what they got for Carmelo Anthony. And there's no doubt going to be times where Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook are on the court at the same time. And with Dennis Schroeder being a point guard, he's going to have the ball in his hands, meaning that Russell Westbrook will be playing off the ball even more. So that means he's going to need to become a better catch and shoot three-point shooter. So that's another possibility. There still might not be that much ball movement in OKC's offense next year, but with the addition of another ball handler, that only means more time for Russell Westbrook to spend off the ball. Overall though, no matter how you look at it, this summer just keeps getting better for the OKC Thunder. Of course, they lost Carmelo Anthony. You got Russell Westbrook getting better at shooting threes. You got to keep Paul George. You got Dennis Schroeder. I mean, it's been wins all across the board. You even got Nerlens Noel, who could be a very nice backup center to Steven Adams, a backup center that they haven't had since what, Kendrick Perkins? The Thunder are about to surprise some fans this year, people. Next up in the news, there's a bit of beef going on right now between two Los Angeles Lakers legends, Kobe Bryant and LeVar Ball. And look guys, ever since LeBron decided to take his talents to LA, there's already been a decent amount of drama brewing, but this one is probably the biggest of them all. And believe it or not, but it was actually Kobe Bryant who started this beef. And let me break down how this happened for you guys. So over the summer, Kobe Bryant has been training with Jayson Tatum, the 3rd overall pick in last year's draft, who was taken, of course, by the Boston Celtics, a standout rookie who was amazing during the regular season, but then took it up 5, 10, 15 notches in the postseason. And Kobe has already made it known that he's a huge fan of Jayson Tatum. He did his detailed series on ESPN on Jayson Tatum back when the season was still going. And clearly, since he is now training with him, he wants Jayson Tatum to succeed, and more likely even more than just succeed. He wants Jayson Tatum to be the best so he can, kind of take credit. Look, I helped bring that guy up. See, that's the Kobe Bryant effect. I gave him the Mamba mentality, and now he's sitting atop the throne of the NBA, which of course is rubbing Lakers fans the wrong way, because they're like, yo, Kobe, what's the deal? Look, Jayson Tatum's nice and all, nothing against him, but we got our own batch of young players right here, young promising players. Why on earth are you helping a player on the Boston Celtics, one of our sworn enemies in the NBA, instead of helping the players that we have right here in LA? Which is a fair question, something that we'd all like to know the answer to. And Kobe actually already pretty much gave us the answer. We know what the answer is. As famed NBA trainer Drew Hanlon built the beans on a conversation that he had with Kobe Bryant right before Kobe started training with Jayson Tatum. As right before they started training together, it was known that Kobe Bryant inspired Jayson Tatum to start playing basketball. The Kobe Bryant was Jayson Tatum's favorite player when he was growing up. Drew Hanlon told Kobe about that, and this is how that conversation went according to Hanlon. We actually showed Kobe it yesterday, and he was like, why didn't the Lakers draft him? Aha! So Kobe wanted the Lakers to draft Tatum because Tatum is a Kobe fan. It all makes so much sense. But it doesn't 100% answer the question of why Tatum over the guys that the Lakers actually drafted. Well, the answer is in the pudding. I think I used that. I think that's how the expression goes, right? Did I use that right? I'm pretty sure I used that right. See, while Jayson Tatum started playing basketball because of Kobe Bryant, Lonzo Ball started playing basketball or idolized LeBron James as his favorite player when he was growing up. It's the whole Kobe versus LeBron thing again. And of course, Kobe Bryant is going to want to help the player that liked him growing up as opposed to the player that liked LeBron growing up, regardless of what team they play for. And this is where LeVar Ball comes in, because he called out Kobe Bryant for this exact reason yesterday when he was asked, why do you think that Kobe Bryant is helping Jayson Tatum instead of your son Lonzo Ball? How many times does a player get to play with his favorite player? Probably never. That was Lonzo's favorite player growing up. Yes, that's why Kobe don't like him that much. I like LeBron. LeBron has always been his guy. As crazy as it sounds to say, I think LeVar Ball just spit absolute facts on this situation. And look, over the past week or so, or actually ever since LeBron James joined the Lakers, there has been crazy talk out there of the possibility of Kobe Bryant coming out of retirement to join the Lakers and help them overthrow the Golden State Warriors. It sounds crazy, but it was an actual idea circulating in the NBA community. Now, Kobe Bryant's wife did recently come out and put an absolute end to all of that, but I just want to say that at this point, knowing what we know now, if Kobe Bryant were to come out of retirement, I think he would shock the entire NBA world by choosing to go to the Celtics instead of the Lakers. Like LeVar Ball said, how many times does a player get to play with the player that they idolized while they were growing up? Lonzo's getting to do it with LeBron James, and Kobe would be like, all right, fine then, bet. How about this? I'm going to the Celtics to play with Jayson Tatum, and that would only spark the Lakers versus Celtics rivalry anymore. Could you imagine that finals matchup of Kobe Bryant on the Celtics against LeBron James on the Lakers? Lakers fans would hate that. They would absolutely hate that, but that would be really interesting to watch for me. And for what will be our final story of the day, look, I like Damian Lillard and I like CJ McCollum, so inherently I like the Portland Trail Blazers as a team. A few years back, they used to be the team that I rooted for when it came time for the playoffs in the Western Conference. I thought they were on the same trajectory that the Golden State Warriors were on back before the Warriors became the best team in the league. They had Dame, they had CJ, one of the best young backcourts in the NBA, Splash Brothers 2.0. I thought they were going to be lit. But of course we know now that it didn't pan out that way. They kind of hit their ceiling with the team they have. They're a great regular season team, outstanding regular season team, but in the playoffs, when teams really focus on shutting down Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, they fall to bits because they don't have anything else. Add to that the fact that Portland doesn't have a way to get better, with no assets to trade for other star players, no money to sign other star players, and they're stuck in a very awkward situation. Kind of like the situation that the Los Angeles Clippers were stuck in a couple years ago when they had Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. They're a really good team, but just not good enough to be considered a great team. And most of the NBA fan base already recognizes this, especially after this postseason when they got swept out of the first round by the New Orleans Pelicans. After that, a lot of us thought that this could be the summer that something gets done, that either Damian Lillard or CJ McCollum gets traded, but it's not looking like that will be the case. As team president of the Portland Trail Blazers said this yesterday: long term, we have him for the next 4 years, which gives us a really good runway. We're keeping the core together, knowing that Dame and CJ have at least 3 years left on their contracts, and we give that group the best chance to win without impeding our ability long term in terms of being numbers that's not completely non-liquid. So that's what the president of the Blazers is saying, that they're going to give this team more time to try and win. Okay, sure. All right, let's talk about this for a second. Is there anything left to say here? I don't think so, but I'm gonna say it anyways. The man isn't dumb. He knows that they're not about to win anything with the team they have right now. There is no way, I'm sorry Blazers fan, but you guys know this, and if you don't know this, it's about time someone told you. There's no way this Portland Trail Blazers team is about to win a championship with the team they have put together, and once again, they have no real way of getting better. So that being said, if a player becomes available, or a team calls Portland, making a nice offer that they cannot refuse, Dame or CJ is gone at the snap of a finger, at the drop of a dime, the twinkle of a star in the sky. We've seen this happen too many times. For crying out loud, it just happened to DeMar DeRozan. They told him 48 hours ago that, hey, you're safe, you ain't getting traded. Next thing you know, he finds himself in San Antonio. So Dame and CJ are safe for now, but that could change tomorrow. And now it is question of the daytime, where I ask you guys a question based on something that we talked about today. And today's question today is going to be this: do you think that it's right for Kobe Bryant to be training with Jayson Tatum just because he was a Kobe Bryant fan growing up, instead of training with the Lakers like Lonzo Ball because he was a LeBron fan growing up? Let me know down in the comment section below using the hashtag QOTD in your response for your chance to be featured in the next video. Speaking of which, in yesterday's video, we talked about Carmelo Anthony being the dark horse for the Houston Rockets this upcoming season, and I asked you guys whether or not you think he'll make the Rockets better, even maybe better than Golden State, or if he'll hurt them kind of like he did with the OKC Thunder last year. And here's what you guys had to say. Last year, the Rockets were one win away from reaching the finals because of Chris Paul, not because of Trevor Ariza, who had the worst play of any series in his career. He didn't guard Durant because it's just impossible, and there's no need to do that because it's just impossible. And here comes Melo, who can carry an offense on his back with James Harden. All the Rockets need to do is add one more ball handler to help out Harden when CP3 is injured. Melo will fit perfectly into this role. I don't think Melo will be enough to push the Rockets over the top to beat the Warriors. However, I think he can be a bit better for the Rockets, but we have seen Melo hate D'Antoni's system in the past, so it may not work out. It will be best for Melo to be a six-man for Houston, because once James Harden sits on the bench, Melo can do some isolation plays. More often than not, once he makes a bunch of buckets, teams will be sending double teams. That makes the court vision of Melo to kick it out and find wide open three-point shooters, or even down in the post. Alright, so Melo has already said again this summer that he's still not willing to come off the bench, so we can scratch that idea for now. But I do think that the Rockets could try and do something a little bit similar, where Melo starts the game for them, plays the first 6 or 7 minutes in the first quarter, and then goes to the bench while James Harden plays the entire 12 minutes of the first quarter. Then to start the second quarter, Carmelo Anthony comes off the bench and they run the offense through him, hopefully get him going a little bit so he'll be more effective for the rest of the game, since he's such a rhythm volume shooter who needs to get his touches in order to be the most effective. I think the Houston Rockets are going to look to try and do something like that, and hopefully it works, because I do think Melo is going to be better than he was last year. He has to be. There's no way that he was actually that bad last year. I'm not a Melo fan, but I still don't think he was actually just that bad last year. As far as will he make them good enough to beat the Golden State Warriors, I don't think that depends on much as Melo, but I think it depends more on DeMarcus Cousins and the impact he has on the Warriors, whether or not he fits well with them, and how much of the same DeMarcus Cousins he comes back as when he comes back from his injury. Anyways, don't forget to leave your answer for today's question of the day down in the comment section below. Also, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel with post notifications on so you don't miss out on more daily NBA videos. Thank you once again for watching, though. You guys are the real MVPs, and until next time, I am out of here. Peace!